Heyo everybody, Haku here, talking about a lot of the new information we got in the new Pokemon Sun and Moon trailer, and we did get a freaking ton of information. So here I will be talking about the new Alolan Pokemon forms, the new Pokemon we got to see. I'll be talking about rideable Pokemon, the new Island Challenge system, and also Z moves. I'll try to go over them as briefly as I can, but still make sure to cover everything. But we have a lot to talk about them. And basically, the Alolan forms, I would have preferred just actual new Pokemon, but I'm not totally against these new forms. I think they look really nice. I don't think there's really a big problem with it. Because, we've already seen different forms of different Pokemon based on, East or West Coast or where you catch them from. So it makes total sense that another region, there could just be, another version of the same Pokemon, but it's different because it is in this other region. So that's perfectly fine, seeing a different one based on climate and stuff like that. So I'm going to go through each one we got to see there. The first Alolan form that we saw was the Alolan Exeggutor, and it is goofy looking as all hell, but I think it's Grass Dragon for whatever reason, but I think the reason I like it is because it is goofy looking as all hell. The designers had to know. They had to be making that and saying, okay, this looks doofy, but people are gonna love it because it looks so doofy. It's not the bad kind of doofy like some Pokemon are, it's the hilarious kind. Also for abilities, it has Frisk, and kind of an interesting ability for it, I guess. But it has Frisk, and I guess that's basically everything about it, except it is interesting to note that I've seen all the Alolan forms we've seen so far, at least all the fully evolved Alolan forms, they all have a 4 times weakness to something, and this, for example, being Grass Dragon, has a 4 times weakness to Ice. Next up is the Alolan Vulpix and Ninetales, which the Alolan Vulpix is an Ice type, the Alolan Ninetales is a Ice Fairy type, and both have the ability Snow Cloak, I believe, which raises their evasiveness in Hail. So I really like these two just because their designs don't seem too different from the originals. I think that's something to keep in mind for these Alolan forms. Their design, since they are all that we've seen Gen 1 Pokemon, their designs shouldn't look that crazy or complex or anything. They should really be reminiscent of the Gen 1 Pokemon they're based on. And these look like they could have been the original Vulpix and Ninetales had the originals meant to been Ice. So I think the design is really cool, and I like it. I like that they have the Ice typing. So yeah, I think they work out, and now they get a bunch of good Ice type moves like Aurora Beam, Ice Beam, Blizzard, I believe, Ice Shard. So they have a bunch of good Ice moves now that they can add to their moveset. And I don't know, I think they'd be really fun to use, but I would rather use another one of these Alolan forms. Also, the Alolan Ninetales, and continuing with what I've noticed with them having 4 times weaknesses to something, being an Ice Fairy, I believe it has a 4 times weakness to Steel. And now we have the Alolan Sandshrew and Sandslash, both of which are Ice Steel, and I love these two so freaking much. They are slower than the original Sandshrew and Sandslash, but with better defense stats, is I believe what it said. And I just love them so much. Look at the little Ice-type Sandshrew. It looks like an igloo. I love it so much. And the Ice Sandslash looks incredibly badass. I would have preferred that they just be pure Ice, because to me they look like just pure Ice. So I don't really like Ice Steel. And another huge reason I don't like Ice Steel is because it renders them almost unusable on a team, because they have a 4 times weakness like the others, but this time a 4 times weakness to both Fire and Fighting, both of which are incredibly common types, especially in competitive battling. Next we see a bunch of brand new Pokemon for the Alola region, and I really like all of them. I don't think there's a single one from the batch that I didn't like. Gen 7 is ending up looking like a very, very good generation for Pokemon designs. I put these 4 up on the screen. They are Oricorio, a new Pokemon, and I love them so much. There are 4 different forms, each with different typings, based on 4 different styles of dance, and also they are catchable at the 4 different islands. Now, I really love these, and I'll talk about them one at a time, and then talk about Oricorio in general. Up in the top left side of the screen, I guess it will be the baile style, and I love it so much. It just looks really freaking cool. I've already said that pretty much certain members of my team are already from this generation, being Iwanko and Salandit, so sadly I'll already have a fire type, so I'm probably not going to use baile because it is fire flying, and it looks so cool to me. I really, really like it. And then next up is the electric flying pom-pom in the top right. It's the electric flying type, and I really like this one too. I love that we see another electric flying type. I don't know. Again, it's a design I absolutely love. Probably my least favorite of the 4, but one I still enjoy, is in the bottom left, and that is the Pa'u style, and it's a psychic flying type. And again, my least favorite of the 4, but I still really think it looks awesome. I love the little hula bird. And then in the bottom right will be the Sensu style Oricorio, and it is ghost flying, and I love it so much. I think it is the 3rd Pokemon we've seen that I'm saying is going to get 100% spot on my Gen 7 team. Like, I love the ghost flying dual type too, because in Gen 4 I use Drifblim a lot in teams, so I really like this Sensu style. Like, it just looks so cool. I love the way the ends of its wings are like little fans. I really like this one. And Oricorio in general I think is really cool and useful. It has its ability is called Dancer, and it allows it to copy any like effects given by dance moves. So if somebody uses Swords Dance to raise their attack, or say Dragon Dance or Quiver Dance or anything like that, it also gets the boost from that like its enemy does. Or you could probably team it up in double battles and have your other Pokemon just spam dance moves, and you get the benefits of it on Oricorio. So I don't know, I really like that ability. I think it could be really useful in strategies. And also it has its own signature move, which is Revelation Dance. And Revelation Dance's type depends on which form of Oricorio is using it. So if the baile Oricorio uses Revelation Dance, it'll be a fire type move. Electric type for Pom Pom. Pa'u, it'll be a psychic type. And a ghost type move for the Sensu style. So I really love the 4 different Oricorio, and it was a really great way to show off, like start showing off new Pokemon. It was really, really awesome. Next up is Minior, a rock flying type with the ability Shields Down, which lets it have, I think, better defense, and it's also immune to status conditions while it has over half health. But then when it falls below half health, the shielding falls off and exposes the core, and it loses that benefit, but it has, from what I understand, better attack and speed. It was a bit of a confusing explanation, honestly, but I think this thing is so freaking cute. I just think it's really adorable. Also, it comes in a bunch of different colors. And at first, when I first saw it, I was thinking, okay, it's just a like one-off, no evolutions or pre-evolutions Pokemon. But then I also thought, its name is Minior, so Mini and Meteor. What if it does actually have an evolution? What if it's part of a 2 or 3 stage? What if it actually evolves into this just massive, badass asteroid Pokemon? I think that would be incredible if it did evolve into some big, badass asteroid Pokemon. But either way, even if it doesn't have an evolution, I really, really like Minior. And next up, we have a second stage and pre-evolution for 2 of the Gen 7 Pokemon we've met already. We have the evolution to Yungoos, which is Gumshoos, and it's hilarious. It's just Trump. It keeps the ability Stakeout, which is really cool because I did like that ability. And it just keeps the normal typing, so it's sort of just your basic rodent at the beginning of a region. So not really something I feel like I'll probably use anywhere or anything. And then second, one I am so happy about, we have freaking Mudbray. know if it's Mudspray or Mudbray, but I don't know. Either way, I absolutely love it. Because when we first saw Mudsdale, I was like, this has to be part of a 2-stage evolution. Like, it needs to be the ground version of like Zebstrika or Rapidash. And we got it. We got the first stage evolution, the pony version of Mudsdale. And I love Mudbray. It has pretty much the same abilities and all, just a ground type or whatever. But I don't know, even the backstory behind it too, of like, they said it was like hunted to near extinction and the only place to find it in the wild is Alola. So I really freaking love Mudbray. And next up we have my new favorite pair of Pokemon from Gen 7. We have Fomantis, which is just, you are soulless if you don't think that is the cutest little thing. And we have Lurantis, which, like, outside of YouTube, I have been completely, ever since the trailer, I've been completely obsessed with Lurantis. Lurantis is just my new favorite. Possibly after this generation comes out, maybe one of my favorite Pokemon overall. I love the design so much. They're both pure grass type with the Leaf Guard ability. At least I think it was Leaf Guard, but I am really surprised that they are pure grass type, given that it's based on a praying mantis and appears to be an actual bug. So I'm super surprised it doesn't have the bug typing. And also, even if it didn't have the bug typing, with the design and the color scheme and all, I'm a little bit surprised it doesn't have the fairy typing either. So it's just a pure grass typing, but I just love it so much either way. And we also see that it shows off a brand new move called Solar Blade, which is a 2-turn move, and from what I'm gathering, it's essentially the physical version of Solar Beam. So, awesome new move. I'm glad that we see it with Lurantis. Lurantis is the best. Like I said before this, what else? Was there anything else I needed to say about them? No. Basically, I said even earlier in this video that, like, the 3 that made it, that I was like, that are certain to be on my team so far, were Salandit, Iwanko, or Rockruff, I think is what they're calling it in English, and the Sensu or Ikorio. Well, 4th, definitely, I cannot have a team without Lurantis. It's 100% my favorite Alola Pokemon we've seen so far, like, without any sort of doubt. I really, really love Iwanko, and I love Salandit, the idea of a fire poison. Still waiting to see what that post-evolution looks like, though, because if it evolves into something lame, then it's going to be such a waste of a beautiful Salandit. But either way, so right now, I think that Lurantis has kicked both of Iwanko and Salandit out of the running for my favorite Alola, and is definitely it. Next up, we learned that there's going to be a new rideable Pokemon system in Sun and Moon, and Pokemon that we've seen trainers riding in the trailers were Stoutland, Lapras, Sharpedo, Tauros, Mudsdale, and Charizard, I believe. I think that was all of them. But either way, I'm super excited, especially it seems that for the Pokemon riding, it seems like they had different abilities. Like Mudsdale allowed you to travel over rocky terrain, Sharpedo could break away rocks that were in the way in water, and Tauros could do the same on land. You could fly with Charizard, of course. So it seems like maybe they have those different sorts of abilities, and that might make it so that we won't need TMs or HMs in Sun and Moon, which would be great. Instead of wasting time giving TMs and HMs to Pokemon, you could just use the Pokemon riding system. So that, I think, would be really a lot cooler and a lot better in my opinion. So I'm super excited to see how that all works out. Also, we find out about a new system that seems like it might be replacing the gym leader system. We may still have gyms and gym leaders, and we may just be jumping to conclusions by thinking that this is the only plot. But there's a new system called the Island Trials, where you go on multiple trials on each island. There are 4 islands, of course. And through these different trials, at the end of each trial, there's a totem Pokemon, and the trials aren't necessarily battling. You can do different things for them, but at the end of each, there's a totem Pokemon that can call other Pokemon to help it. It's bigger than normal Pokemon of its species. So, really cool. I like the idea a lot. Again, like I said, if it does replace gym leaders, I wasn't 100% on replacing it, but this seems like a fun, different way to do the plot anyway. Like, I don't mind this idea whatsoever. So I think if they do replace gym leaders with this just for this region or something, I think that it's good to have a little bit of something different and to try something out that's different. And at first when I was thinking, oh, a trial and island, that seems like a really short plot. But since there are like multiple trials, we're going to be doing a bunch of different things, it seems really cool. And at first, because in this trailer we're introduced to 4 trial captains, I figured that because of the 4 trial captains, that would maybe be like all that we had was the 4 versions of what was supposed to be gym leaders or whatever. But from what I've heard, there might be more than 4. Like, if we have multiple trials at each island, we might have multiple trial captains at each island. So that'll be really cool if that is the case. Even if we just had the 4, though, the 4 that we saw I really liked. But before I get into talking about each of them, we also find out that the final trial on each island to complete the island's trials is to defeat the Kahuna, and the Kahuna is the leader of the island, chosen by the island's guardian Pokemon. And we learned that the guy we saw in the original trailer, or way back when we first saw the starters, was Hala, and he is the Kahuna of Melee Island. So really cool to see that, and it appears as though Tapu Koko, the electric fairy guardian, is likely the one who chose him. So I don't know if we beat him, if we'll then be able to go try to catch Tapu Koko later on, but I would say that we probably will. We'll probably have the option to catch it. It wouldn't make sense if we didn't. So it'd be cool if we get to do that on each island. So I'm really excited to see what kind of good the changes have in store, honestly. And then, yeah, I guess I'll just get into talking about each of the trial captains we've seen so far. First up is probably my second favorite of the 4 trial captains we've seen so far. Freaking Mallow, the grass-type trainer. She is a cook, and hello, waifu for lifeu. Pokemon again at it with the click-click designs. So I am very happy to meet Mallow, the grass-type trainer. And from what we've seen, it seems like she sends you on a trial to collect ingredients for her. So that's, again, it's interesting to see something other than battling that may be an interesting and cool new challenge. Next up are 2 of the other trial captains that we have that we learned about in the trailer. Lana to my right, I guess it'll be on your screen, but Lana is a water type trainer, appears to be some sort of fisher, and she is a devoted older sister, it says. So I think the design's really cool. I like Lana. It's just sort of one of those meh designs. She's alright, whatever. Next on the left is Sophocles, an electric type trainer who is a genius kid, inventor, and mechanic. And a lot of people hate that it's like just a fat kid. It's kind of a lame design. And yeah, I understand that, but I think it kind of, I don't know, I kind of like it. It is sort of admittedly a bit of a lame design. Sorry, I bumped the mic there if you heard that a second ago. It is kind of a lame design, but I don't know, I don't really mind it. It's not like I'm upset about it or anything. It's just like one of those, I don't know how to put my thoughts into words. It's like, you need some designs that don't all look the same, you know? Need something different like that, so I don't mind Sophocles at all, and I think it'll be really awesome if, like, he designs these really cool complex trials or whatever for you on his island. That'd be really, really fun. And the last trial captain we've got to see was Kiawe, my favorite so far. Like, he looks really, really cool. He's a fire type specialist. He's a fire dancer, which is really badass. It said that his partner Pokemon is a Marowak, so a lot of people are taking that to mean that we're going to have a fire type Alolan Marowak, which I think would be really, really awesome. But I actually think that if it kept the ground typing and was a fire ground type Marowak, that'd be really badass, because I think fire ground would be a really cool type combo. And of course it would have the 4 times weakness to water, but all the other Alolan forms have 4 times weaknesses. And other than water, ground and fire kind of cover each other's weaknesses all right. So I mean, I think it would just be it'd be a really fun way to do fire type Marowak if it was fire ground. But either way, I really like Kiawe, and it seems that he has a trial where he does multiple dances and you have to spot the differences between them. So again, something cool other than battling that I think is pretty interesting. Now lastly, I'll talk about the one and only thing I did not like, and that is the Z moves. And to do a Z move, you need the Z ring and the Z crystal, and you do some lame arm movements and stuff, and it's just, I didn't like it. I don't like the concept. I don't like the idea. I didn't like Mega Evolution. I like change and seeing new things in Pokemon, but I thought Mega Evolution was kind of a dumb and cheesy and gimmicky idea, and I think Z moves feel not as bad to me as Mega Evolution did, but again, I don't like the idea of the Z moves. But basically, the information on them, you can use them once per battle. There is one for each type, and you need the Z crystal to use it, and you can only have one type's Z crystal like equipped at a time, I think. So that'd be interesting. Of course, I'm gonna have my poison type, put it on my boy Salandit, and have that poison type move whatever it is. Either that or get the grass type and put it on Lurantis, like just best Poke Lurantis. I think that'd be really cool too. But we saw 4 of the Z moves, and the 4 that we've seen are the electric type Gigavolt Havoc, the grass type Bloom Doom, which I thought was the coolest looking one probably, or the one that I would probably use most likely, the fire type, which was Inferno Overdrive, and the water type one, Hydro something, what was it? Hydro Vortex. And honestly, Hydro Vortex may have been the coolest, actually. I don't know, I really like the way Hydro Vortex looked. I just don't like the concept. I don't know, I think it's a little too much. It's a little gimmicky. It's like, I'm good with change, of course, but there are certain things where it's like you add them and it's like, I don't know how fun this is, you know? Like, it's one of those things where I'm going to reserve judgment, of course, because it could always be really cool and an interesting new thing, but I'm not quite sure yet. But either way, this is probably a long as hell video. I'll know once I edit it all together, but damn, we had a lot to talk about here. I've probably been recording for a good 45 minutes or so. So yeah, hopefully you guys liked that. I liked a ton about this trailer. I liked pretty much all the new Pokemon. I like the new Alolan forms, pretty much all of them. I like seeing that we get the rideable Pokemon and that it may actually replace HMs. I liked seeing the challenge system and how it might replace gyms, but it looks like it might be really fun and interesting in its own way. And the Z moves, first reaction, I don't really like the idea, but it could turn out to be something really fun, so I'm not going to just sit and hate on it or anything. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy the video, however long it ended up being. So like if you did like the video, comment down there and tell me what you thought of all of this info. It's a lot, I know. Or what you thought of my thoughts on it. Lurantis best Poke, Mallow for Waifu for Levu, and subscribe for more Pokemon, One Piece, Tower of God, a ton of other stuff, Walking Dead. Follow on Twitter if you want as well. I'll try to keep you updated there whenever I post anything or push anything back. And I believe that's it. So thank you one last time for watching, and I'll see you all next time.